The man frantically hid inside a hollow tree. Right above him stood his commanding officer and a squad of soldiers hunting him down, because he was a deserter. And deserters were treated far worse than enemy soldiers. If they found him, he'd be as good as dead. Luckily, this was a blind spot. They wouldn't see him unless they climbed down, so he stayed there for hours, afraid to move or make a sound. He only dared to peek out when the sky grew dark, but he didn't leave right away. He quickly scanned the area. His pursuers had been gone for some time. The freezing weather made him shiver uncontrollably. Just when hunger and cold were breaking his spirit, he spotted an abandoned military vehicle. Inside, he found a warm overcoat, a pair of leather shoes that fit perfectly, and even a basket of fruit. He kept searching, and discovered an officer's uniform. The rank on the shoulder was captain. Staring at that symbol of power, a bold idea came to him. He slipped into the uniform, and wiped the dirt off his face with spit. In an instant, the hunted deserter had become a military captain. To sell the act, he started practicing an officer's tone of voice, but as he was rehearsing, a soldier suddenly appeared. He froze in fear, terrified his true identity would be exposed. The man hurried over, snapped to attention, and saluted him. That's when it hit him. He was a captain now. He ordered the soldier to fix the vehicle, but just in case, he took the man's sidearm. With the soldier's help, they managed to pull the vehicle out of the mud. The man was starting to feel confident in his new role. Calmly, he asked to see the soldier's ID. The soldier, unaware of the deception, handed it over. He quickly explained he wasn't a deserter, just separated from his unit. He knew what happened to deserters. The man realized he was lying, because that's exactly how he had escaped. But he didn't expose him. He needed someone to follow him. With nothing but an apple, he won the soldier's loyalty. The two decided to get a proper meal. On the way, the man discreetly tossed his old uniform out the window. That rag was a symbol of shame. Soon they found an inn, a rare comfort in times like these. But with the army losing ground and respect, civilians weren't happy to see them. There was no way they could eat for free. Then the man had an idea. He took out a pen and paper and claimed he was sent to record war losses for future compensation. The townsfolk perked up at the thought of restitution. Their attitudes shifted instantly. They crowded around him, sharing their stories. The innkeeper served them roasted meat. The starving soldier pounced on the food. His behavior raised suspicion. Why was an officer's aide so filthy and undisciplined? Only deserters acted like that. The man noticed the change in their expressions. To deflect suspicion, he forced himself to eat slowly and gracefully, even though he was starving too. That night, the innkeeper arranged a room for them. But just as he was about to sleep, they called him outside. They had captured a deserter and wanted him to pass judgment. It was a test. If he didn't execute the man, they'd know he wasn't a real captain. To save his own life, he raised his pistol and shot his fellow soldier. The execution eased their doubts for now, but this place was no longer safe. The next day they left and began their journey on the run.